Man, second video. I'm probably gonna go back with the second one, the first one, but 7-0 filter, baby. Dropping a couple of serious ones real quick. I don't know how serious this one will be, but the last one was hella serious. Talking about mental health and all that shit, but it kind of ties into my theory with gender roles. So today I'm talking about gender roles in society and the impact of that on men, at least men's health. And I think the problem, you always wonder why men and women are consistently fighting, like why, there has to be a logical reason. Men, for example, believe that women today are trying to take their place. They're trying to be too manly. They're trying to be men. And so they feel like their position is being threatened. And then women are dealing with the whole time that they felt like they're being pressed back and hold back. So now they want to fight. They want their independence. They want to show that, you know, I'm just as good as men. And so then you get this conflict, you know, because we see it differently. They see it as independently and become strong. We see them trying to become us. And the real problem with that is society. It's society. Society comes out and they make these gender roles. And these gender roles are like, you know, a man is supposed to be this, a woman's supposed to be that, you know. But if you just look at the word, if I ask you this question, like, what is a man? First thing that might pop to your mind might be, you know, tough, the provider, a guy that doesn't back down, you know, is a protector of the family. That's all the stuff that you would think. But if you look at the dictionary, Webster Dictionary, it's explained as a man as a grown adult. So you start wondering, like, where does this all come from? Where you got this thing where you got to be the tough guy, you got to be a protector, you're supposed to be the rock. And it comes from that masculinity. It's like the traits of what you're supposed to be. And I think women are now put in that role where they are the provider, they are the protector, not physically, but financially, you know, where they're doing that. And that's the problem. That's the problem. It's not the problem that they're doing it. It's a problem that society says that one person is supposed to do this and another one's supposed to do that. So society says, here, these are all the qualifications of what a man is. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And then women come and they look at this and they're like, oh, you're not doing all these things. You're not a man. And which a woman, I always felt a woman has no place to tell whether a man is a man, because until you are one, you have no position to tell a man if he's a man or not. But anyways, that's something different. But then we go against ourselves. That's why I say we got three problems that we got that as a man that we got to deal with. We got to deal with society, we have to deal with women, and we have to deal with ourselves. Because then we start looking at that same damn list that society laid out, and we start thinking, oh, I'm not doing all these things, so obviously I'm not a man. I don't have any worth in this society because I'm not doing these criteria. And I think the way things should be looked at is not that I'm a man or I'm a woman, but partnership, because that's what it should be. Like if you're running a business and you come in with certain types of resources and another person comes in, it's a partnership and you work together. So instead of thinking, well, I'm the male, I should be the masculine one here, I should be the rock, I should be that. How about you guys share this responsibility together, share the responsibilities together, instead of thinking that one person needs to take on all these things. And women are not going back to the 1950s and 1960s. They're not going to go back to where men are dominant and they're playing submissive roles. It's not going to happen. It's just not. So you got to find that there is a change. There's a lot of people in the red pill community, and then you got the feminists and all this other stuff. And I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps at all, because instead of teaching people, men, to adapt, they're trying to get men to hold on to the old ways. It's kind of like slavery in a way, where it wasn't going to last forever. You know, it was going to come to an end. But, you know, the South was going to like fight to, you know, keep this, you know, the right to have slaves and whatever else that they were fighting for. But they were definitely trying to make it stay this way, and it wasn't going to happen. It was going to adapt. And if they had just went along and adapt, it could have made not just easier for African Americans, it could have made it a bit better for America as a whole. But, you know, it's just that mindset. And I think it's time that men just let that shit go. You're just not going to keep, women are not submissive. They don't want to be submissive. And no one wants to be dominated, whether male or female, no one wants to be dominated. So if we can just say, fuck society, fuck these gender roles, and just be that. Because, you know, David Chappelle special, he talked about that gender matters, but like on what level? You know, at what level does gender matters? Are we talking about just male, female? Are we talking about what roles and how we play in society? How important is society? And a lot of times we talk about how strong is a man over a woman. Now we're talking way back in caveman time, maybe that would matter, but we live in an age of information and technology where anyone can be a provider, anyone can learn how to code, program, or whatever, become pretty wealthy and support themselves. So how important is it to be strong in this day and age? It's not as important as it would have been back then. So we talk about, and the only time I think it's important to talk about who's stronger is if we have like transgenders, males, going into like MMA and fighting women. That's a whole nother topic. It's something I disagree with. But one thing I do like about transgenders and homosexuals is the fact that they kind of said, fuck society, fuck your gender roles. I'm going to be who I want to be. If I'm transgender and I want to, like men, I'm going to do that. If I'm gay and or if I'm a woman and I want to be with another woman, I'm going to do that. Whether I agree or disagree, my point is this: fuck gender roles. I mean, fuck that shit. I mean, if you guys can just move that out the way, how easy would it be for us to work together? That's what I'm kind of wondering. Like, how easy would it be if men didn't feel all this pressure? Would that lower down men's mental health? Would that lower down the numbers of suicides? Would it be easier to work with women if we look at them as a partner instead of someone that needs to submit to me, or a woman expecting like, oh, he should be doing this, and man's supposed to be doing that, and women are not playing it fair because they do say equal roles, they talk about equal opportunities and all this other stuff, but they still follow the guidelines of what society laid out and the guidelines of what a man's supposed to be based on gender roles. So women still play that. So like, you can't do that. You gotta think it the same way I'm thinking it, and I'm thinking partnership, not like I'm gonna come and dominate this man, or I'm gonna show how much balls I got. You don't have balls, but like we physically have balls. Like you're talking about like maybe you might be tougher than him, but why would that matter? If you're with him, why would that even matter? Why would you want to make your partner feel beneath you? Obviously you shouldn't be in a relationship if you think that way. But I know you look at my other stuff, my other content that I put out, and I like being funny. I like comedy stuff, and then sometimes I like to be serious. And this is kind of like a serious topic for me, talking about gender roles and the impact of men's health. But like again, on my last video, it's 6 million men that deal with depression every year. 6 million. The seventh leading death of men is suicide. So you start thinking like, what is it? What is it that's going on? And a lot of it, what I'm reading on Facebook, on mental health group chat groups, men are talking about suicide. They're talking about how they want to die. They're talking about how they're going through these relationships and how they feel like they're not men because they're not providing, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. And if that pressure was lifted off and it was more acceptable, because sometimes women do work and men stay home. Sometimes men are better parents than women, but we live in a society and we do it to ourselves. We screw ourselves over by thinking that a woman is the better parent, or a woman, the children should go with a mom. Society says the rules and then we agree with it, And it's funny because people talk about how, I'm a man, gender roles and red pill and all this stuff, not knowing that this whole image of what a man is someone else's thesis, someone else's conclusion that was made up long before they were even born. They weren't alive when people came out and said, well, this is what a man's supposed to be. It's someone else's concepts and ideals. And then they try to adapt it as their own. And that's why you got the misogynistics, you got the all this other stuff, misogynistic, and all this other crap that comes along with it. I'm sorry, I totally mispronounced that word. I'll probably put it in there. But basically what I'm just trying to get to is that I feel men and women should be partnership. It should be a partnership. Both should hold the same responsibility. It should not be put upon one person to be the provider, or one person to do this, one person to do that. Work as a team. And if you can do that, I think that will lead to a lot of stress, a lot of depression, and men and women, for once, might see eye to eye on the issue. Okay, anyways, I'm 7 on Filter. I hope that made sense because I know we're rambling. I just want to get that out. See you on the next one.